102.3 WHTL. It is 11 o'clock, middays with Mark, and you're listening to 102.3 WHTL in Whitehall, Wisconsin. It's Wednesday, which means it's time for Open House, brought to you by Hansen Realty Group.
It's time for the open house on WHTL.
What are you, some kind of real estate agent?
You're joking, right? I'm only talking about real estate. With the Hansen Real Estate Group. I never understood why people are so afraid to eat in an open house. I know. The open house starts right now.
And it does begin right now. And good morning, all. I've got Jackie Hansen in the studio from Hansen Realty Group. Jackie, good morning.
Good morning, Mark. Beautiful day in the heartland here.
Boy, it is. It is really a beautiful day, and a little bit of rain last night. I don't know if it rained where you were. It poured where I was.
Yeah, it did. It did. But we're still welcoming some of that good moisture. So.
Yeah, we certainly do need it. And but today is just a gorgeous day out there in Wisconsin's heartland, and we're going to talk about a little bit of real estate
That
today.
sounds great.
First thing I know you want to talk about is marketing, and marketing when it comes to real estate. How important is that?
Oh my gosh. So our company puts a lot of time, energy, money. We have an amazing marketing department. And I know a lot of real estate companies could say that, but I really believe that our company is second to none. We have a whole marketing team that we send photographs to, and drone videography and drone photographs, and they turn it into just an amazing marketing tool. So we have available, obviously, the full range of newspapers, depending on where your property is located. Drone photographers, and they take video of the properties as well, especially for rural or expansive commercial land properties, such as that. Otherwise, we also, of course, have social media, Facebook advertising, Instagram, along with all the internet websites. And when you say that, I mean, you're talking Realtor.com, Homes.com, Trulia, Zillow, along with both of our company websites, so HREgroup.com and HansenRealEstateGroup.com. And then we also have the ability to do 3D virtual tours. So we don't use all of those tools for every property, but we'll use any and all that would pertain to the certain property. And we get it out there to virtually the United States. Anybody that has the internet can find these properties.
I've got a question about that because, of course, I'm an old guy, but, I remember back in the old days, really, the only way you had real estate groups or real estate agents had was word of mouth or the newspaper, really. I mean, that was really pretty much it. And then, of course, there became what was it, the MLS listings?
Correct, yeah.
Where, it went out kind of like nationwide in a way. I don't know how it used to work, but where realtors could co-op together.
Yep.
Is that still so much of a thing today with all the different tools that you have?
Oh, I think today more than ever, because you have such a diverse population where, like my parents and grandparents, of course, would not have and don't use the internet. So you're getting more coverage now than you probably ever were, just because of the kind of the landscape and how things have gone. So, people that the younger generation probably don't read the newspapers as much, but we advertise in all of them to catch anybody, any potential buyers. And so I think the job is even bigger now for real estate companies than it was a few years ago, and probably will be in the future. We hit it all, and we spend a great deal of time and effort and everything that's at our fingertips to market the properties.
Now, a lot of things. Another question that comes to mind, and maybe people are wondering about this too. I know I kind of am in a way, but you can find a lot of different listings online. Whether, as you mentioned, Trulia, Zillow. Zillow, I know, is a big one.
Yep.
And I think maybe a lot of younger buyers tend to rely on those sites.
Yep.
Now, if they see a property that they like, is it smart to call a realtor like yourself and say, hey, I saw a home on Zillow, but I'd like some help maybe taking a look at it?
Yes. And as a realtor, I would definitely tell them to go on Realtor.com. Zillow is an independent company that, yeah, they have all the nice photos and information, but a lot of times their information is not as up to date. So what'll happen is I'll have someone call and say, I just saw that house on Main Street. We just love it. Well, I'm sorry, that's already under contract, and Zillow doesn't reflect that. So not trying to beat them down, but Realtor.com is actually going to be your most up to date resource because it comes directly from the agents.
So, okay, well, that's very good information because I think a lot of people tend to rely on those commercial sites maybe more than they should.
Yep, and the realtor information's right on there to answer your question. Yes, you definitely want to call a realtor and find out what the status is and ask them questions.
Okay, I know the other thing you want to cover today stems from something that happened to you recently in regard to some people in the real estate market.
Yeah, yep. So to start with the quick little what happened to me first was I had a very frustrated couple call a couple weeks ago, and I was not involved in anything, but they thought they could phone a friend, which is fine. But they bought a for sale by owner, and they were not represented by a realtor. They just went in and they loved the house, and I don't blame them. It's fine. But they had a loan program where, if you have what I call government loans, FHA, USDA, any of those, and they kind of tend to lend themselves towards first-time home buyers, there's a lot of stipulations that come with them. The government's idea is, to what I understand, the government's idea is that they want first-time home buyers to buy a house that doesn't need any work. Their idea is to set them up for success.
So no fixer-uppers.
Right. Well, this couple and maybe the for sale by the owners didn't really realize, but there's things that needed to be addressed, and there was nobody there to represent them to say, hey, we should write into the offer that you paint the front porch or whatever. That's just an example. But anyway, they called me because they were frustrated. The appraiser had to come back 3 times to double check things that needed to be done to the house to qualify for their first-time homebuyer loan program. And the appraiser charges up to $200-300 for each revisit on top of his appraisal fee, which can be anywhere from $400 to $600. So if they would have had a realtor representing them, they would have, started to guide them from day one, because we do have a really good handle on these loan programs. I'll have people call, gosh, we want to look at so-and-so house, and I'll say, I ask them, of course, if they're pre-approved, what type of loan program. Back to the pre-approval, that's another reason we ask. We want to go look at houses that fit your lending situation. And obviously, we're not lenders. We don't know everything about loan programs, but we know quite a bit, or we have a pretty good handle on things. So, it's really a big thing to have a realtor represent you so that you have a smooth transaction. These folks, sadly, probably spent close to $600-800 more than they would have had to if they would have had somebody guiding them through it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't necessarily think about the, all the things that can happen in regard to a transaction, and a realtor can certainly make that easy. And the pre-approval thing is something that we've talked about quite a bit here during Open House, and what a difference that can make. And
Yeah, it just helps us. It helps us help them, and like I said, we've all been there. First-time home buyers, absolutely. I love working with first-time home buyers. It's such a joy to get a family into their first home, but it's a little bit to navigate, and they don't realize till they get in the middle of it. Or worst case scenario, I've seen it where they get 3 weeks into a transaction and they realize there's just no way that this property will conform to their loan program. Maybe there's like the not the right type of well. Maybe it's a sand point. Well, that's another red flag that you can't use for that. And maybe the seller's not willing to fix that. Well, now you've wasted money on an appraisal, and who knows, So, just a lot of reasons to call a realtor, get represented, protect yourself, and have a smooth transition or a smooth purchase.
And I know the other thing we've talked about, and I've learned, from talking to you and the other people at Hansen Realty Group, the pre-approval process also lets you know what price range you can look in.
Yeah.
And, you run the risk of losing a property if you're not pre-approved, because by the time you get approved, somebody else who is may come in and just walk away with the deal.
Yeah, we've had 2 properties here, myself actually. I know my my coworkers have as well, but that they've went under contract within a week of getting put on the market, and if you don't have that pre-approval letter in hand, I mean, there's somebody in line ahead of you potentially. Yeah.
Well, now you've got some properties you want to talk about today that look pretty nice.
Yeah, I do. Jamie Back was supposed to be here today, but I had to swap with him because we are going to be all hands on deck next week. Josh Becker and myself in Black River Falls. We're getting this 187-acre property that has two homes, an expansive garage and shop between Black River Falls and Melrose. We'll be getting that ready all week with the open house all ready next Friday, May 17th from 3 to 6 p.m. So kind of put that on your calendar if you have any interest. I know that I've had a lot of phone calls on it, and now we're kind of all hands on deck here getting it ready for the actual auction, which is in person with John Marg, and some of the items are simulcast, meaning both online and live bidding. That's June 14th, beginning at 9 a.m. in person at the property, with the real estate selling at noon, and then the other simulcast items at 1 o'clock.
How unusual is it to find 187 plus acres in this part of the world?
Yeah, no, normally they get split up, which, there's reasons for that too, but this property is not. It's selling all as one with two homes, very expansive. The property's right across the road from the Black River. So as far as a hunting property, it's been pretty untouched and pretty virgin as far as any hunting or anything goes. It's been in the family for many, many, many years, and sadly, it's time now to move on. So it's quite an opportunity here.
And if people want to take a look at it, what's the best way to do that?
The best thing to do was put it on your calendar, show up next Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. And then after that, of course, we will we'll line up personal showings if you can't make it to the open house.
Okay. And you can see it online, too, by the way. If you go to the Hansen Realty Group website, it'll be right on there.
Yeah, there's drone photography, there's a video, there's a ton of information and photographs. And actually, the online simulcast bidding, where you can sit at home and bid, begins May 13th, so a few days before the open house. So a lot going on next week.
All right. You've got a property in Fairchild that looks really interesting.
Yes, yeah, I have a listing here between Fairchild and Osseo, a little closer to Fairchild, right off the Buffalo River Trail, which is a state trail that's snowmobile, ATV, obviously, for people. You can go out there and ski and jog and whatever, but it's right across the street from that. It is 3 cabins and a garage. They are all solar powered, but I know that sounds a little wonky, but you literally walk in and flip the switch and you have power. They've made it so easy and so efficient. It's just each cabin has its own generator just in case you need a little more power. They come fully furnished. It's a nice little base camp for hunting. There's a lot of hunting around there, and it is on 4.2 acres. So, it's a really nice opportunity there. That's listed at 144.9 currently.
This looks to me like an ideal thing for maybe a family that wants, that lives somewhere in town and wants a place to go, on the weekends. This looks like an ideal thing
hunting
for that.
party can chip in. I'm not sure with the county regulations, but I believe that it's able, you could Airbnb a couple of them. Again, you'd have to check into that, but a lot of opportunity there. You literally just pack your clothes and go, and you can unwind for the weekend and enjoy the outdoors there and not have to buy a camper or pay camping sites or anything. It's all right there for you.
And check that out on the website as well at Hansen Realty Group. That's a nice property. I'm looking at the pictures right here. And then you got a beautiful home that looks like it's move-in ready in Independence.
Yeah, this one is a brand new construction in the new division of the Markham Edition, they call it, in Independence. And this is a virtually barrier-free home. It's a brand new construction. I have the whole list of licensed contractors that worked on this. It's brand new from top to bottom. It's all one level. There is no basement. It's built on a slab, but that kept the pricing down for people. You can get into a brand new home for the price of a used home, you know. So we're talking about a 3-bedroom, 2 full bath, 1-story home, about 1,400 square foot. And again, virtually barrier free. You can drive in the garage and in 10 steps be in the kitchen, put your groceries away. It has waterproof luxury vinyl plank flooring, large kitchen with an island. It's open to the living room with a patio, some outdoor space. It's got a private master bedroom with a bath, shower, X-large walk-in closet. It's just a beautiful brand new home and listed at only $249,900.
That's a steal for this kind of a home in our area. So that's probably going to be that's not going to last long, I don't think.
It's a beautiful home, amazing workmanship. Yep.
All right, well, Jackie, I appreciate all the info. You can check that out too, by the way, on the website, Hansen Realty Group website. It's hregroup.com, and if people want to call you, what's the best way to do it?
My phone number is 715-797-3332.
And make sure you get out on Friday for that open house up in Black River.
Yep. Next Friday from 3 to 6, we're going to have a couple UTVs there to help people get around the property. And we're going to have people giving tours and handing out maps, and we'll answer everything you're asking.
I tell you, that's an amazing property. 187 plus acres in Black River, between Black River and Melrose. It doesn't get any better than that.
No, that's right. Yeah, that's for sure.
You could buy that, be gone. People never find you again. You could just hang out there and just
Yeah,
enjoy
that's
your
the
peace
idea
and quiet.
nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah.
Little peace and quiet.
There you go. Jackie Hansen from the Hansen Realty Group, a little bit of open house here today. And who's coming in next week, do you know?
Jamie Back.
Jamie?
Jamie Back is going to come in. Yep.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to talking to Jamie next Wednesday. Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers this coming weekend.
Absolutely. Happy Mother's Day. And next week, Jamie Back on Open House.
I think that went good. I felt
Good
good
job.
about it. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I felt good about it.
Yep. Good
It
job.
helps to have notes.
You did great.
Thanks. Yeah, I feel better having notes in